Have you ever felt like something is missing in your life? Like no matter how hard you try, true happiness and peace always seem just out of reach? If so, you're not alone. Many of us find ourselves caught up in the rush of daily life, feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from this cycle and rediscover joy and inner calm? Today on Jenny Fifi channel, we'll explore a powerful story of transformation. A story about a young man named Ethan who found peace and meaning through small yet profound changes inspired by timeless Buddhist wisdom. Stay with us, because this story might just hold the key to unlocking your own path to happiness.
Ethan lived in a bustling city, surrounded by opportunities and excitement. Yet he often felt empty. Despite a steady job and good income, he was weighed down by the pressure of work, shallow relationships, and a constant sense of dissatisfaction. One evening, as he walked home, he passed by a small temple. Unlike the noise and chaos of the city, the temple radiated a serene, inviting calm. Curiosity got the better of him, and he stepped inside, not to pray, but to find a moment of stillness amidst his inner turmoil. Inside, he met an elderly monk whose gentle smile immediately put him at ease. Ethan shared his feelings of being lost and unfulfilled, hoping the monk might offer some clarity. The monk listened patiently, then said,
"To find peace, start small. Don't aim for grand changes all at once. Focus on taking one small step each day."
While Ethan found the advice intriguing, he wasn't sure how to apply it. The monk then shared a story.
He spoke of a poor farmer in a remote village who faced seemingly impossible odds. The farmer's land was barren, and no matter how hard he worked, his fields wouldn't yield crops. One day, determined to change his fate, he began digging a well to irrigate his land. The villagers mocked him, calling his efforts foolish and futile. But day after day, the farmer dug a little deeper, refusing to give up. Months passed, and finally, he struck a water source that transformed his fields into a lush, thriving paradise. The monk explained that the farmer's story symbolized how small, consistent efforts could lead to monumental changes over time.
Inspired by the story, Ethan asked how he could begin his own journey. The monk replied,
"Start with your mind. It's the foundation of all your actions. If your mind is clouded, no amount of external effort will bring you peace."
Ethan reflected on how often his thoughts were dominated by worries about the future and regrets about the past, leaving little space for the present moment. The monk suggested he try a simple daily meditation practice, starting with just 5 minutes. Ethan followed the monk's advice, though it wasn't easy at first. His mind wandered, and sitting still felt uncomfortable. But as days turned into weeks, he began noticing small but significant changes. He became less reactive to negativity and started noticing the beauty in simple things. A ray of sunlight through the window, the sound of birds, or the warmth of a morning cup of tea. His newfound awareness brought him gratitude, and he began keeping a journal to record the things he was thankful for. Over time, this habit deepened his appreciation for life's small joys.
However, Ethan still struggled with forgiveness. An old betrayal from a former friend haunted him, filling him with anger every time he thought about it. He shared this with the monk, who told him the story of Angulimala, a murderer whose life was transformed by the Buddha's compassion. The story helped Ethan see that forgiveness wasn't about excusing someone's wrongs. It was about freeing himself from the burden of resentment. Encouraged, he wrote a letter to his former friend, not to reconcile, but to let go of his own pain. When he finished the letter, Ethan felt as if a heavy weight had been lifted from his chest.
As Ethan continued his journey, he learned to master his emotions and reactions. He began responding to challenges with calm and clarity rather than anger or frustration. One day, when a colleague unfairly criticized him, Ethan took a deep breath and replied thoughtfully instead of lashing out. He realized that conquering his own impulses was the greatest victory, and with each act of self-control, his inner peace grew.
Looking back, Ethan saw how much his life had transformed. He no longer chased happiness in material possessions or fleeting successes. Instead, he found joy in life's simple moments, a quiet walk, a heartfelt conversation, or a good book. Ethan understood that peace wasn't something he could find outside himself. It was something he had to build within. Though the journey was ongoing, he had learned to cherish each step along the way.
One day, Ethan returned to the temple to thank the monk. He shared how much his life had changed and how the small lessons had shaped his newfound peace. The monk smiled and said,
"The answers were always within you. Remember, every step is part of the journey. Continue to live with gratitude and peace in your heart."
Ethan left the temple feeling lighter and more fulfilled than ever. He knew life would continue to challenge him, but he now had the tools and mindset to face it with resilience and clarity.
Ethan's story reminds us that true peace doesn't come from the outside world. It's something we cultivate from within. By starting small, nurturing gratitude, and embracing forgiveness, we can begin to transform our own lives. Just as Ethan did, the journey to happiness and peace isn't about reaching a destination. It's about how we walk the path every day. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe to Jenny Fifi channel for more inspiring stories and lessons. Together, let's take small steps toward a life filled with joy and serenity. See you in the next video.